There he is, the man that most San Antonio Spurs fans are real worried about. Tony Parker, ankle, hamstring, whatever it is, those legs, they need to be fresh for the Spurs to win. I do believe that's the big matchup that they can win in this matchup. Let's talk about it. Tony Parker versus a guy that, you spent way too much time talking about, Mario Chalmers. And another guy I kind of like because he's kind of come into his own. Norris Cole's really grown up this year. That's going to be a big matchup in this series. Of course, obviously, I think that the advantage lies with Tony Parker, but the health concerns do come up. Talk about this matchup, and who would you rather see on the floor matching up against Tony Parker, Norris Cole or Mario Chalmers? I won't start with you, I'll start with Dan. Norris Cole's kind of come along and kind of stolen some minutes from Mario.
Maybe, but I don't think either Norris Cole nor Mario Chalmers has a hope in hell against Tony Parker, even if Tony Parker's at 75%. I feel like there were moments in the finals last year where LeBron had to guard Parker. Am I right about that?
Remember that shot, the up and under?
Right, yes. The Spurs have a decided advantage at point guard, and Chalmers is a nice player and can hit a shot. Cole, okay, but neither of them are anywhere near the class of Tony Parker.
Now, you speak of class of Tony Parker tricks. Let me throw this at you as you make all the funny faces you want to make right now.
Whatever.
I started this argument a few weeks ago on the show, and I don't know if everyone believes me, but is Tony Parker the best point guard in the NBA?
No.
We talk about Chris Paul, but Tony Parker's got rings, buddy, ring jewelry.
Tony Parker's not the best point guard in the NBA, but
why not?
he's definitely in the conversation. And he's definitely in conversation, but he's not the best. I think Chris Paul's better than him.
Why? Chris Paul, how far does Chris Paul take his
statistically,
stats don't mean nothing.
I think Chris Paul is more consistent as a point guard. Tony Parker is good. Listen, I'm not dissing. And
Zero championships.
I agree.
To 3.
I hear you. I agree with, but look what Tony Parker has around him too. You have to factor that in. But I also agree with him. I don't see a Heat point guard that could even match up to Tony Parker at all.
Listen, we've been talking about Manu and Tim being over the hill for some time. He's been the key that turns the ignition. Your thoughts? Is Tony Parker? He's the head of the snake.
I don't think he's the best point guard in the league, but I do think he's like
the love affair is over, folks.
I think he's at least top 5. I think he's at least top 5.
Top 5, yes.
Top 5 for sure.
Top 5.
What? I like Russell Westbrook. He made some mistakes in the Western Conference Finals, all right. But Russell Westbrook, Chris Paul. I mean, I think he's definitely in the discussion of top 3 or 5 for sure, but I can't give him best point guard in the league. I can't give it to him.
Okay, wow. Well,
I agree with Chantel. Give me a high five, girlfriend. Come on.
We were so close for a minute there, but now it's 3-on-1.
We'll get back to it.
It's okay.
Things are back to normal around.
Yeah, this is how the Hangout works. Let's talk about Kawhi Leonard, a guy, of course, that you claimed is your X factor for this series. Yep. I love Kawhi Leonard's game. A lot of people talk moving forward, of course, to the San Antonio Spurs game as we look at the numbers that he contributes to the group, around 13 points. The field goal percentage is amazing. What you don't see is the on-ball defense, but it's coming down the end of the Duncan, Ginobili era. Parker will still be around, but is Kawhi ready to be that guy on this team? Is he ready to be one of the top 3 billable players in San Antonio?
He's the one that team is passing the torch to, and he's.
But does he have you seen that type of game from him, or will it be a new role?
Be honest with yourself.
He'll score more. He'll have to score more points, but the guy does it all. He's got the rebounds, the playmaking, the defense.
The X factor and leader. I think there's a separation.
On this team right now, he's the X factor.
Okay.
Because he's not one of the big 3.
The Spurs wouldn't be as good as they are without Kawhi Leonard, and that's how you know he's an impact player for the team.
But is he a face?
He's an impact player. He is, and he looks like a guy from Rexdale. I'm not just gonna say it right now. He so does. That picture, what? He looks like he went to West Humber. He is. I think he could be, and she's right. Without him, they don't do anything. But I don't know if he could be the face of the franchise one day.
He's
I don't know.
Have to be,
I haven't seen that
retire
because he's been good this playoffs, but he hasn't been great. Yeah. Like Portland, he dominated Portland, but then OKC, I saw shades of
my thing is, I'm not sure he's a guy you can just throw the ball to and say, go get me some points.
But you know what? He can get his own shot,
it's true.
though.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah, they play very balanced.
They don't need to go get their own shot. They have an offense and a system.
But they will need guys that can create offense. Let's get into something else now, though, of course. My boy Michael Bailey, one of my interns here, is probably upset because we're talking about the finals, and we barely talked about the Heat so far. So let's get into it. If the Heat win their 3rd NBA title, what does this mean for their legacy? Because you talk about teams with 3 straight NBA titles. We're talking about the Lakers, okay, the Magic-worthy Lakers. We're talking about Bill Russell Celtics. We're talking about Larry Bird Celtics. We're talking about MJ's Bulls.
You know what? Okay, as a LeBron fan, I'm a LeBron fan.
Not enough of a fan, seeing as how you bet on the Spurs.
Here's the thing. Even if they win 3 straight, I am not convinced to put them up there with the Bulls and the Lakers, because those were great teams. Miami is a good team with a great player. I don't think they're a great complete team. They're not that dominant to me.
They're the last team to make the finals 4 straight years.
No, I hear you.
Well, I want to find out.
Is it safe to say? Is it safe to say that they've done it with sheer talent of 3 guys? Like, if one, listen, with the Bulls, okay, if Michael Jordan didn't score or didn't play well, they could still pull out some wins because they had
win 72
they had
games.
Kukoc, right? But if LeBron does not score over 10 points, they lose. One guy, if one guy determines
what
your
does that take away from what they've accomplished?
But I'm saying if one guy alters your entire team, I can't rank you as a great team.
Okay, so here's this then. So if there's that argument that LeBron's causing all of this, does that inch him closer to the conversation if he's with Michael Jordan?
No way.
No way?
No way. I didn't know.
Because that's
like, if he wins, I know, but if he
4
wins,
finals trips.
I didn't know that 3 was better than 6. You know what I mean? If like, a lot of people base everything on rings, I didn't know 3 was better than 6.
Okay, but you guys just told me that Chris Paul was the best point guard, but Tony Parker got 3 rings. He's better than none.
That is true.
Thank you.
But that's a good
theory
point.
busted.
That's a good point. But I mean, if you just look at the way Tony Parker and Chris Paul play, Chris Paul deserves a ring, and I think he will get.
You don't deserve a ring till you win one.
Not with the Clippers, he won't.
You don't deserve a ring till you win one.
When he plays, it's beautiful.
Guys, Tony Parker, great point guard. Chris Paul, great point guard. But I don't base what they're doing on their championships or not. Same with LeBron. Okay, to say that LeBron does it by himself is crazy. The guy is one of 4 Hall of Famers on that team.
Okay.
And just because Mike Miller last year or Birdman aren't really lifetime great NBA players, they have made key contributions along the way that help the Heat get to these finals and these championships.
I'm not disagreeing with that, but let's factor in the fact that if LeBron does nothing, case in point, Indiana, when he was in foul trouble, look what happened to their lead. That's all I'm saying.
I will let the two of you continue this conversation after the break, but we got to make sure the show is balanced time-wise. So I'm throwing a break right now. When we come back, we plan to talk about, of course, the all-defensive first team and who deserves to be given credit for their defense. But I think Dan and Trick still have some things to work out. Hang on.